So you run this business with you said your brother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Dan Forrest, right?
Yep.
And tell me, like, what's your role in the firm and what you do, and I know, how did you get into like handling these high net worth and these like high profile cases that you work on?
So the highest, we have a lot of high profile cases, a lot of high net worth clients. How we got most of those clients is exactly what you said. It's referrals from other clients who have watched us over the years do really, really good work for their family. It's referrals from other lawyers who have gone against us sometimes in the past. And for whatever reason, they can't take the case, so they refer it. You know, sometimes when you're a really excellent litigator, I had a client refer to me recently. I was doing a hearing, and it was one of the uniform, motion calendar hearings. So it's like 30 lawyers on the Zoom screen. It's crazy. And I got a referral from that because somebody thought that I did a really good job at that hearing and referred me one of their friends. We also, they know each other. It's South Florida feels like an enormous place, but community-wise, I feel like it's pretty small.
It's small, for sure.
Right? And we all know each other. And so I hope that our work is speaking for itself, and that's how we end up getting those clients and those referrals. And I also represent many family members. You can imagine I have one brother and then the sister and then the cousin of the family. You stay with these families as like their legacy attorney for years and years.
Sure. Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's really great because I think the key to the growth of any business, no matter what, and like there's so many people that have so many different moving parts, but it's just like, just do great work for your clients. Like, just show how passionate you are, do an amazing job, get a great result, like do your very best. I think if you really do your very best, put your blinders on, you're going to do a great job for them. And that's just going to snowball into growth.
It's amazing advertising. There are some parts of Zoom that I really, really dislike for family law. There are some parts of Zoom that I really like for family law. And one of those parts is it's a little bit of advertising. There's a lot of people watching us.
Yeah.
A lot more people that normally would. I get referrals from Zoom. It's crazy.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
In other ways, Zoom's, can have its drawbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've gotten a referral from Zoom. I don't know that I have.
Just get out there.
I just haven't been on a hearing.
Job.
haven't been
right.
on a Zoom hearing. Maybe I need to actually go there, and that could be the new marketing method. But
I mean, it's pretty incredible. Think of how many lawyers are watching you on there. Lawyers representing non-parties. These are business lawyers. They're probate lawyers that got drug into this, divorce hot mess for a hearing, and they're watching you. So every single time that I'm in court, every single time that Zoom screen blinks on, I think I'm on. Yeah. That's why it's so hard for me to delegate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm on and I'm selling me, and you get me, and that's what you get.
Yeah. I like it. I think and it all depends on like how you are, I guess, like personally with the amount of work you're doing, and if it makes you happy, and like I think like these are the things, the balances that you need to make just personally. Like I know for me, like for 11 years I did a lot of sacrifice, and I wasn't seeing the kids as much, and like I was missing vacations, and I was doing things, but I was in court and I was doing what I was doing, and I was building the reputation, and I was getting this, this name for myself. But eventually I got to a point where it was like, okay, now I can go out on my own and teach this to my team so they can do it. And then I can have a little bit more time with the family, or I can, be able to manage things from even outside the office if I need to be outside the office. So there's that balance.
It's a tricky time of life to have a balance,
It's a really hard time of life.
I have a thing, like a personal thing. I say it sometimes in consults, but it's more in my head. When people come in and they want a divorce and they have a baby under the age of 1, mm-hmm. I say, don't do it. Yeah. don't do it. You might feel like this now, but give it a year and a half, give it 2 years. This period of time, you and I were talking about something before, that professionals, like when you're young, you really can kill it. Right?
Yeah.
And what an awful paradox that is for us. You're young with young children and in your prime income business building years.
Yeah.
How awful that happens at the same time. It's really tough.
We
tough. Have these little kids. And
it's everyone though. That's it's crazy to like when we think about this, but it's everybody. You know what I mean? It's anyone who works, anyone who has a job. It's like, but I do think some people are able to have that disconnect. I think lawyers, like you're like let's just say the average worker works from 9 to 5 or from 8:30 to 5:30, and then they can check out, right? like a business owner or a trial lawyer or whatever, like if I'm working 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week or some crazy numbers and I'm working through the weekends, it does start taking a toll, you know. And you mentioned
How many
before.
opening statements have you done in the shower?
Oh, I've done a lot of
Right?
opening statements. Are you kidding? Unfortunately, I've missed entire conversations. My kids are sitting there talking to me,
Right.
and I'm
You're
in my
like-
head thinking about my closing argument or how I'm going to cross-examine
Yeah.
a witness, you know, or pick a jury. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's all consuming when you're a lawyer. You know,
It's
you mentioned,
very-
I think before, like family law attorneys, they have a very, very high rate of getting sick or getting cancer because they're not taking care of themselves, but the stress, the cortisol, whatever else is going on. So what do you do? What do you do to balance it?
I exercise
Yeah.
and then drink alcohol. Usually not at the same time.
Yeah.
What I do. So recently I'm trying to take Fridays off. I just got to a point of doing that. You know, I've been doing this now. I've been a lawyer for, I don't remember, 15 years probably. So I just started doing that. It's not going well, I'll be honest. So that's one thing. The other thing I'm trying to do is to be more discerning about the cases that I accept and the cases that I decline. So I just got to a point in my career now where I can say to a client, no, you know, I'm not a good fit for you because I know it's going to be a tumultuous relationship or something. That's something that you can do for your mental health. The other thing I think is your colleague support. So some of the best friends I have in my entire life are lawyers. A lot of them are divorce lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, because it's a weird industry and it probably draws a little bit of a chaotic personality, I imagine,
Yeah.
right? We didn't become this job by accident. And rely on your friends, and you have to call each other. We have law firms, so we're very lucky because I can walk into my office and talk to 4 people and laugh about what happened in court. Not every solo practitioner has that outlet, and I think that that's a really big difference of just having your friends around you on a daily basis where you can talk these things out. A lot of solo practitioners don't have that. You
That's
know,
true.
they're on their own. And I think that sucks as a lawyer. You need to be able to call somebody on your way in and out of court.
Yeah, or even if you're working at a big firm and you're just unhappy with it and like you don't like your colleagues. I mean, it really is. I think as a stress level to maintain it at a good level or to keep it down is to at least work in an environment that you enjoy working in. I mean, it's
100%.
something I've really tried to like foster this community in my office where it's like I look forward to coming to the office. I look forward to seeing everybody and talking, and if issues come up, we bounce ideas off of each other. It's very collaborative.
Yep.
And that can help tremendously with everybody. You
I
know?
hate a quiet office.
Yeah.
I want my office to be loud.
Yeah.
You know, I want all the things. I want that busy environment and that camaraderie because otherwise it really will kill you, and it's very sad. Family law lawyers, I think it's probably true of all lawyers, but family law lawyers, all the problems that happen in our cases, they happen when you're supposed to be resting. You know, the domestic violence fights happen at 8:30, 9:30 p.m., 11:30 p.m., right? The child exchanges happen after hours. This is when our cases explode. Nobody is nice enough to get into a fight between 9 and 5 for us. They wait until later, you know, when they call.
That you know, I've said it before, but I do think family law, that area of the law, I think would be the hardest area to represent clients. Just for me personally, like it's not like probate law where people are deceased, you know, and you're representing a personal representative, you're just trying to get through the probate process. Personal injury law, you're representing people who are injured, they need your help, they need your guidance, and you're able to do that, and they're getting the treatment they need, and they're getting the medicine, and they're getting better over time, and that's stressful for them, but you could be there, and you could be there from 9 to 5, or you can be there from whatever. These things aren't, very rarely you're having emergencies. But family law, you have people, especially in the divorce arena or in the child custody, it is just pure anger and emotion and problems and things that come up, and it's like these time bombs that are constantly going, not even time bombs, just bombs that are just constantly going off. And it's got, you know, it does, like you said, it takes a personality, a tough, hardened personality to handle it. It does, you know,
and they have to pay you for it, which is the worst, right? The worst experience of their entire life. There's the family law lawyers fight over the 2 most important things for people: their children and their life savings.
Yeah.
Right. Their life's work is getting obliterated when they get divorced, and their children, you know, everything it's like have your heart walking around outside your body, your children. And that's what family law lawyers are fighting for. So It does take a very certain personality. I disagree with a lot of lawyers have this idea that clients die at 5. I've heard this a lot in my profession, and I think it's a defense mechanism that lawyers have developed over time because they just can't anymore. You know, it's too much. But to me, the clients do not die at 5. They can't. That's sometimes when they wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I will wake up on any given day in my inbox. I will have from the hours, because I check my email pretty late into the night, around 7, 8, I'll stop. From that period of time until I wake up in the morning, I will never have less than 30 emails.
Yeah.
Never. That
Yeah.
I have received.
Yeah,
From things that are happening.
and
in
it's
cases.
clients, or is it just cases, or is it just in general? Like,
Mostly it's clients.
yeah,
It's mostly clients because for them, they have jobs too. They have a real job.
sure.
And so when they get home and they get a chance to think about their own personal case, I represent a ton of lawyers.
Yeah,
Lots of lawyers, right?
the
And
lawyer's
so-
lawyer.
The lawyer's lawyer. Yeah, we represent.
See, that's an honor right there. Like you were mentioning before, like it's an honor when another, you're on a Zoom call and someone sees you, or your opposing counsel reaches out to you, and then also major honor if a lawyer's coming to you for help. You know.
Yes, and it's a major responsibility.
Mhm.
Also, you know, my husband is a dental surgeon, and he has a lot of stress at work. I'm sure it's a very hard job. I know it's a very hard job. I think of myself also as a different kind of surgeon, but my patient is awake and watching me the whole time perform, right? They're up in my face, next to me in court, or next to me on Zoom, you know, watching me perform and trying to do my best for them. The lawyer, imagine that critical eye.
For sure.
Watching you perform.
Yeah.
Right? So we represent a lot of lawyers, and I always welcome their input in cases because, man, they think of stuff you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. It is. If there is some extra there. It would be tough if they're sitting next to you and you're making your argument and they're trying to like hand you stuff and whisper stuff to you, which is like a nightmare. Like,
They do that too.
Yeah. And
I have a collection of paper over the years because, you know, when you go to trial, you go to court or whatever, you have to give the client, for clients who might be watching this, you know, we give you a piece of paper to write on. So you try not to talk to us so much during the hearing that's happening because we're paying attention.
Yeah, you got to focus.
Right? I would say 60% of the time, that piece of paper that my client is passing to me says, she's lying.
Yeah.
Right? So I have a collection of she's lying, he's lying,
Oh,
and
that's
that's
hilarious.
not true.
Yeah.
You know, sitting there, because that is the most common comment that I get, lawyer client or non-lawyer client.